mortgage our children's future by another $300 or $400 billion. We don't need to do that. We can alleviate suffering. We can help our fellow Americans. We could have done it in September, but the good senator from Vermont and all of his colleagues on the Democrat side simply won't take yes for an answer. And my guess is they're taking that same stance today. So, Madam President, I object.
Objection is heard. Senator from Vermont.
Senator from Wisconsin talks about Democrats not taking yes for an answer. So let me tell you what we did not take for an answer. We did not take for an answer the Republican bill which did not have a nickel for unemployment benefits. We did not take yes for an answer for a bill that did not have a nickel for direct payments. Senator from Wisconsin talks about the deficit. Yet the senator from Wisconsin voted for over $1 trillion in tax breaks for billionaires and large profitable corporations. That's okay. Senator from Wisconsin voted for a bloated military budget, $740 billion. That's okay. Senator from Wisconsin supports hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in corporate welfare. A senator from Wisconsin threw out some numbers. Let me throw out some other numbers. Half of the people in this country are living paycheck to paycheck. Millions of workers are trying to survive on starvation wages of 10 or 12 bucks an hour. 90 million people are uninsured or underinsured, can't afford to go to a doctor. 19 million families spending half of their limited incomes on housing. Madam President, today we have the most severe hunger crisis in America that we have had in decades. Children in this country are going hungry, while 500,000 people are homeless, and many millions more fear eviction. Today, as a result of the pandemic, not only do we have the worst health care crisis in 100 years, but the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. So, Madam President, I say to my colleague from Wisconsin, yeah, I will not support proposals that do not provide a nickel in unemployment benefits, not a nickel in direct relief to tens of millions of low-income and middle-income families. So, Madam President, I would hope very much that this Congress appreciates the pain that is out there, and that instead of worrying about tax breaks for billionaires or corporate welfare, let's pay attention to the needs of working families, and let us pass legislation which includes $1,200 direct payment to working class families, as we did in the CARES Act, $500 to their kids, and certainly not taking a nickel away from unemployment and the other important provisions that are currently being negotiated.
So, listen, I've criticized Bernie during the primary. I've criticized him after the primary. I think he was weak. I think he was naive. But for the people, these extremists, and by the way, I said it to Jimmy's face. I don't agree with you. For the people calling this man a sellout, a coward, feckless, shut the up. Who the are you? You don't have to agree with him on everything. This man has been fighting for you for 40 years. A sellout. Yeah, because he single-handedly couldn't overthrow the United Corporations of America? I don't agree with him on everything. I think he is naive. And frankly, not that he's watching, would like Bernie with Josh Hawley to shut down the goddamn government if they have to tonight. The funding bill for the government is up today. If they don't If they don't come to an agreement, the government will run out of money. Now is the time to fight. I want to make sure you understand what's going on here. Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, all of them, they are lying to you. Glasses off. They are lying to you. You could see my bags under my eyes. If this $900 billion bill, which is a joke, it's half a Band-Aid for a gaping gunshot wound. This would be the equivalent economically of your village being bombed. Okay? Your village has been bombed. That's what the economy is right now. And the relief is them dropping Band-Aids with helicopters as everybody's bleeding out. $300 a week unemployment, I don't want to hear, oh, it's better than nothing. No, $300 a week will not do it. And by the way, the other countries, the other civilized countries don't do unemployment systems like we do because it's a bureaucratic nightmare. And you're not going to get that $300 immediately a week. You know if you've been on unemployment. Is it seamless? Do you get the money right away? So $300 a week? Not enough. What they're talking about right now is a $600 check. The economy has gotten worse since March and April when you got a $1,200 check, which was also not enough. Now you're talking about a $600 check? Well, I understand the devil's advocate. Well, Jordan, it's better than nothing. Well, if we continue to accept this, well, it's better than nothing paradigm, we're going to be getting crumbs till we're all dead and long after we're dead. $600 if you've been unemployed for months, what's that going to do? Maybe it will, if you're, something's wrong with your car, it could help pay that. You got a couple utility bills. It's not going to cover your rent. It's not going to cover your mortgage. It's not going to cover whatever bills that have been piling up while you're unemployed. The $600 will go back into the economy. Yeah, $600 technically is better than nothing. The point is, if people are bleeding out economically, $600 is not going to save them. It might give a little spark to the economy, but it's not going to save you if you are economically bleeding. Neither will $1,200, by the way. It's a slap in the face, $600. And by the way, they are talking, and this ridiculous framing, that, well, if we do any more, if we give Bernie and Senator Josh Hawley what they want, and go up to $1,200, then we're going to have to shrink the amount of weeks for unemployment, or shrink the amount that people get in unemployment. No, you don't. This is a false paradigm. This is a false choice. We have the money for all of this. It's called modern monetary theory. I've had Steve Grumbine on many times. Stephanie Kelton talks about it. We have the money for this. When you're in an economic crisis and a looming Great Depression, you don't check the balance sheet to make sure, you don't increase the debt enough. We don't ask these questions when we go to the Iraq War. We don't ask these questions 20 years in Afghanistan. We don't ask these questions for increasing the military budget to $752 billion last year. I agree. Flashy Brown, only getting $1,200 a month was a slap in the face. $600 is getting pimp slapped. I like that. By the way, Canada is giving its citizens $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month. Europe, the government is simply covering the payrolls. People aren't unemployment. They're not on unemployment. They're still employed, and the government is just covering the payrolls. You want to know why? Because in other countries, there's corruption, yes. Not like the United Corporations of America. They actually care about possibly providing for their citizens during a deadly pandemic. And we have Ron Johnson worth $39 million, which is, by the way, pennies compared to some of these other senators. I think Kelly Loeffler, running in Georgia right now, worth a hell of a lot more. Lecturing us about, well, we don't want to, strangle the children. Children's future? Who the is going to be alive to even procreate? How are we going to have a next generation if the current generation is bleeding out? Am I being too dramatic, folks? Your children's future? My wife and I, we just got married. There's the ring. Okay? Usually, you're married for a little bit, then you have a baby, right? We're fortunate that we're not on the breadlines right now. But for those that are you going to start procreating when you don't know? When you don't know if you're going to have a roof over your head in 2 months? If you haven't had a job in months?
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.